Okay, y'all. I got the 40 cards. I mean, the 40 scriptures. Sorry, I didn't do my nails. So sorry. I have low energy right now, so I'm really trying to push it because I need to get this video out. So, 40 overlooked scriptures that are major keys to why your blessings are most likely being blocked. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and start with Job. Got my notes. Job was considered perfect by the Most High, a perfect man. So we're going to find out why he was considered perfect and how to unblock your blessings, or at least try your best to get close to being like Yaov, Job. Job 1:1. There was a man in the land of Uz, Yaov, Job, and that man was perfect. Okay, so he was considered perfect. Job 1:8. And Yahuwah said unto Satan, have you considered my servant Yaov, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that fears Elohim and turns away from evil. Okay, I just thought I should mention this Job 30:30. And my skin is black upon me. That is what Yaov, Job, is saying. Because I seen somewhere that somebody said, I hope you guys know that the perfect man was white. But no, Job 30:30, he literally tells us, like, my skin is black upon me. It's all black. So melanin rich was the man considered perfect by the Most High. Okay, just thought I should throw that in there because you know how I do it. Advocate for the melanin rich. Okay, so we know what happened shortly after that to Job. He got majorly tested before his major blessings. But yeah, he got tested real hard for sure. So I'm just going to skip over that part and go straight to Job 29. And he's basically sitting under a tree. I believe it's under a tree. And he's just like, Most High, why are you doing this to me? Job 29:12. For I delivered the poor that cried and the fatherless, and him that had none to help him. The blessing of him that was ready to perish came upon me, and I caused the widow's heart to sing for joy. Okay, you see how he said he helped the fatherless and he caused the widow's heart to sing? Job 29:16. I was a father to the poor, and the cause which I knew not, I search out. Okay, so Job 31:16. If I have withheld the poor from their desire, or have caused the eyes of the widow to fail, or have eaten my morsel alone myself, and the fatherless has not eaten thereof. So he's saying, like, I fed the fatherless children, I gave back to the to their mothers. Job 31:18. For from my youth he was brought up with me like the child, as with a father, and I have guided her from my mother's womb. So he's saying, and he has guided the mom from his mother's womb. So what he's saying is that ever since he was in his mama womb, basically, ever since he can remember, it's been in his spirit to look after fatherless children and their moms, the widows. It's just been in his spirit to feel for them and to give back and to feed them and to clothe them and do whatever he could. However he can extend his hand, he's saying, this is what I've been doing. So he's crying out to Yahuwah, like, I've been doing the main commandment. Okay, so Job 31:18. Oh, that was Job 31:18. So down 21. If I have lifted up my hand against the fatherless when I saw my help in the gate. 31:23. For destruction from El was a terror to me. So he's saying, like, he was afraid that El would have destroyed him if he ever came against a fatherless child or the widow. So he's basically saying he knows what it would be to destroy him, how El would destroy him if he was to do this. And he's also crying out that these were all the things that I've been doing. Like, how am I going through hell right now? This don't even make sense. So, Okay, now I'm just going to read off all of the verses really quickly, and I'm just going to make sure I put them in the comment section, because I know how this generation is. They're probably not going to listen. They don't care, but I do, so I just want to make sure that it's out there. But Exodus 22:22, Deuteronomy 10:18, Deuteronomy 14:29, Deuteronomy 24:17, Deuteronomy 24:19, Deuteronomy 24:20, Deuteronomy 24:21, Deuteronomy 26:12, Deuteronomy 26:13, Deuteronomy 27:19, Job 6:27, Job 22:9-11, Job 29:12, Job 31:17, Job 31:21, Psalms 10:14, Psalms 68:5, Psalms 82:3, Psalms 146:9, Proverbs 23:10, Isaiah 1:17, Isaiah 1:20, Isaiah 1:23, Jeremiah 5:28-30, Jeremiah 7:6-7, Jeremiah 22:3, Jeremiah 49:11, Zechariah 7:10, Malachi 3:5, James 1:27, of course, 2nd Esdras 2:20, I believe 2nd Esdras 4:20 in other versions, 2nd Maccabees 3:10, Ecclesiasticus 4:10, Ecclesiasticus 35:14. These are actually not even all of them, because I came across some more and I was already tired. I'm like, I think I got enough to prove my point. And then I even made them into cards, because I'm like, I'm gonna have to write all this down. I don't feel like writing, but this took work too, so it was like I had to work either way. I'm not gonna read all the verses, but I'm gonna read a couple of them and make sure okay, so Exodus 22, Deuteronomy 10:18, he executes the judgment of the fatherless and the widow and loves the stranger, giving him food and raiment. Okay, so he looks after the fatherless children and their mothers, the widows, the single mom, and loves the stranger, giving him food and raiment. So James 1:27, this is my whole point. James 1:27, this is what Job understood. This is why he was considered perfect. Pure religion, pure observance of the whole Torah, undefiled in the eyes of Elohim looking upon you. This is what Job understood, is to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction and to keep himself unspotted from the world. This is why he was crying like, Most High, I have been doing James 1:27. Why are you doing me like this? Okay, so I'm going to wrap up the video. I'm going to read to you Psalm 68:5. A father of the fatherless and a judge of the widows is Elohim in his holy habitation. So this is what the Most High is asking men to be like, and everyone, but men, they're the leaders, supposedly. And then Ecclesiasticus. Let me go to 4 Esdras just to get this out the way. 4 Esdras 2:20. Do right to the widow, judge for the fatherless, give to the poor, defend the orphan, and clothe the naked. Okay, so when it says judge for the fatherless, it just means defend them. Defend anyone that's vulnerable, like fatherless children, the poor, and the widows. And then this is the number one that you guys need to write it down. Tattoo it right here. If you need to tattoo it to help you remember, get a tattoo, because some of you guys, you believe that, oh, that must means that I can help them by making them my wife. No. Ecclesiasticus 4:10. Be as a father unto the fatherless, and instead of a husband unto their mother, so shall you be as the son of El Elyon, and he shall love you more than your mother does. What is he saying? Instead of being a husband to the widow, you shall love her as I love my people of Yasharel with my whole heart, my whole being. Love them love them as you love yourself. So there you have it. Okay, so just in case some of you guys missed it or you weren't paying attention, basically after me reading all of the verses, this is what it's saying, that I'll just speak on the negatives first. Anybody that has purposely looked at a fatherless child or their mother as vulnerable, and you looked at them like prey, and you came up against them in your wicked ways, the Most High is going to smite you down really bad. Yes, this includes all of the guys who, like, you saw a single mom and you looked at her and you thought like, oh, this should be easy for me to get, so I'm just gonna, use my smooth talk and try to sleep with her. And, she's not that important because she's a single mom. This includes you guys, because you have no idea what type of women all of us really are. You can't just judge based off of that. So if you touched one of the chosen ones and you came against her and lied to her and deceived her and pretended you wanted to be her husband, pretended you wanted to be her man, you smooth talk and you lied and all of those things count too. Not just literally slapping or hurting a fatherless child and the mom, but the deceptions, the lies, the pretending you're gonna do right by them. You're coming up against vulnerable people on purpose. Yeah, that counts too. The Most High is gonna smite you down. Now, on the positive sides, if you're like Job, if you extend your hand to them, you're not looking to be married to her just in order to help. You extend your hand to the children, to the needy, to the single mothers, the widows. You are going to be blessed like how Job was blessed. But a lot of you guys, you never preach this. You never bring it out. You never show your works of how you extend your hand to fatherless children and their mothers. You guys are not, please, anybody show me anybody, man or woman, that has ever preached what I'm preaching right now, the James 1:27. I've never seen it, ever. And I know anybody that's watching my videos is like, dang, like what type of cult am I in? I've never heard nobody bring these verses out. Nobody ever cares or talks about it, how Job was considered perfect. Nobody but Queen Irene.